Alright, this is a quick tutorial. It's just a little reminder on how to round to significant figures. This would be at the end of a question where you've done all the work, you've got the answer, and then it says, give your answer to 4 significant figures, 3 significant figures, etc. So I'm going to just do these 2 questions, rounding to that amount of significant figures each time. So our first number is 248,382. So your first significant figure is the first number starting from the left that isn't a 0. So actually 2 here is our first significant figure. Everything after, even if it's a 0, is significant. First significant figure, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So I'll just put that's our first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth significant figure. First of all, it says round to 4 significant figures. So we're rounding to 1, 2, 3, 4 significant figures. So the 3 here is the one we're going to decide whether we round up or down. Because the next number is 8, that will round up to a 4. So 4 significant figures are 2, 4, 8, 4, because we rounded that up. But just be careful, you cannot round this number, 248,382 to 2,484. It's nowhere near. So if it's before the decimal point, you can imagine that there's 0.00 there. Any number before the decimal point, if it's not a significant figure, you then have to change it to a 0. So that's been changed to 4. 8 and 2, they both have to become 0. So we have our 4 significant figures, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's you. So if we were to do the same for 3 significant figures, 1, 2, 3 significant figures, that 3 means that the 8's going to stay the same. So the 3 that we're going to write down are 2, 4, 8. But of course, those 3 then need to turn to a 0. 0, 0, 0. You should be able to now do 2 significant figures and 1. 2 significant figures, 1, 2 significant figures. Because that 8 there, the 4 rounds up to 5. So 2, 5. But all the next 4 numbers all need to become a 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last part, 1 significant figure. That 2 stays as a 2 because the next number is 4. So 2, but 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And that's you rounding this number to 4, 3, 2, and 1 significant figure. All right, other one we're going to do is this one here. So it's a decimal, 0.0286016. We're going to do exactly the same, round it to 4, 3, 2, and 1 significant figure. So when you have a decimal, your first significant figure, I said, starts your first number from the left that isn't a 0. So this isn't significant, and this isn't significant. This 2 is significant, so that's our first significant figure, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And just be careful, that 0, even though it's a 0, it's significant. It doesn't matter. Once you've started, they're all then significant afterwards. So 4 significant figures, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because that 1 is a 1, that 0 stays as a 0. So it becomes 0.02860. And be careful, with a decimal, we don't replace the others as zeros because we don't need them. It's a decimal. That number would be the same whether we added the 2 zeros there or not. And if we added the 2 zeros, we would be saying that they're significant, like this 0 here. So we need to be careful. Don't change those to zeros if we're after the decimal point. So part B, 3 significant figures, 1, 2, 3. Because that's a 0, the 6 is going to stay the same. So we have 0.0286. And those are our 3 significant figures there. 2 significant figures, 1, 2. Because that's a 6, then the 8 is going to round up to a 9. And we have 0.029. That's our 2 significant figures. And finally, 1 significant figure. That 2 is becoming to become a 3 because of the 8 after it. So 0.03. It's also good practice, just going back. You can just put in brackets 4 significant figures after your answer so that you can clearly see that you should have rounded it to that number. And that's all I'm going to do on significant figures. You can do some practice on the practice worksheet and just be careful if any of the questions in your exam ask you to round to significant figures that you do that.